Hey guys, what's up? It's Zoe here. I'm going to be talking about the new Shadowlands 9.1.5 updates. Blizzard has lost a lot of trust recently from their player base after the California lawsuit. It had come to light that there had been sexual harassment, malpractice in hiring. Allegedly, a lot of the higher-ups would be pushing work onto the women. You had women who were there wanting to do their job but didn't feel comfortable because of inappropriate jokes, constant flirting and being hit on. Basically, it's a show. And I feel like this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Many players have actually stopped playing entirely. Bagula did a great video on estimates in the numbers of people that are actually playing because Blizzard no longer releases their official figures. It seems like there's somewhere between 1 to 2 million players, but this was pre-lawsuit, so it actually could be worse than Bagula's predicted numbers. Players' trust is at an all-time low at the moment. People have absolutely no faith in the developers, in the team, to do things honestly, to do things well, and to do things efficiently. So what Blizzard needs to be doing right now is listening to their player base. 9.1.5 will be going out on the PTR in the next week. So we've actually had some updates on kind of things we should be seeing. Surprisingly, they actually seem to be listening. Now, I don't know whether this is good faith. The updates seem to be going in a generally good direction. First of all, they've pulled the Ripcord.
By Jove, he's got it.
Clever.
This is what people have been asking for since beta. You will be able to freely swap your covenant. They've tied in the story. They said, oh, this makes sense now. Now everyone can switch between covenants. I'm hoping that we won't need to go to a specific person in Oribos or something to go to switch covenants, because that sounds like a bit of a nightmare. I know that there's mock-ups where you have your covenant abilities in your talent tree. That is something that would be preferable. I hope they do that right. Amazing news. I wonder how they're going to work this out with conduits and things like that. They've not been specific about the actual inner workings of this, but they have finally permitted to allowing players to switch covenants. Finally, I can be a Necrolord Resto Druid in PvP. I think this is the main thing people playing Shadowlands will have come into conflict with. So overall, great move, love the news, really happy about this. We also have some Lightforged Draenei cosmetic changes. I know that a lot of you guys love seeing all of the new stuff that's being added to the character customization. We've got some really cool tattoo back pieces for our Lightforged Draeneis. We've got new haircuts. We've got new Void Elf hair colors. We've got new horns. This is great news. I think they should keep trickling in more customization for some of those races that don't have as many options as a Blood Elf female, for example. I saw some people asking for solo island expedition queues. Some people still want to get those mounts, mogs, and just generally achievements. This is a good addition. I'm happy that they are giving the players what they want, facilitate their pain. So overall, great news there. We're going to be seeing Legion Timewalking added in. And they've also mentioned Legion Mythic Plus. I'm not quite sure how this is all going to work. I wonder how they'll incentivize people to make people actually want to do the content outside of just doing it to experience it. But I think time walking in general needs to be a bigger part of the game. You have all these maps, all these wonderful resources, and all of these storylines that are just left in the dirt. And I know a lot of players haven't played every single dungeon from every single expansion. So it's just free content sat there doing nothing. Now, you don't want to make the content overpowered or mandatory, but you want to make it enjoyable and still have some benefit. Maybe we could have time walking rotations and the rewards to be somewhere in the mid-level of gearing. So it could be a really interesting and refreshing way to get normal level gear, for example. They've also announced that you will be able to skip the Maw intro. I thought this was already in the game. I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely thought this was already in the game. I haven't actually done any Maw intros for a good while, so I haven't been able to check that. But I thought that was in patch 9.1. Anyway, good news. You can now skip it. They've also announced that they're going to be adjusting talents, just general balance changes. They haven't mentioned any specifics, so I have to wait to know more about that one. We have Dark Iron Dwarves, Kultirans, and Mechagnomes no longer requiring a dungeon to unlock them. I don't play Alliance, but anybody who does play Alliance and wanted to play those races can now do so easier, so that's good. You will now also be able to link your transmog in the chat, so that you don't have to be like, yo, zoom into me. This is a feature that I will probably use. I don't think it's necessary, but I'll probably use it. So I guess it's just a bit of a quality of life change. What they do need to do is fix the transmog actual interface. It is so fucking buggy. It is unbelievable. I don't know how many times you will transmog to a set and then you will click the transmogrifier and he'll try and put you in a completely different set that you're not wearing for some reason. Artifact weapons just completely the whole thing out. On your character select screen, if you've transmogged from a one hand and shield to an artifact weapon, you look and you're wearing the shield still at the same time as your artifact weapon, or your offhand and your artifact weapon. What is going on? Why has this not been fixed? It's genuinely frustrating. In other news, PvP gear from the previous season is going to get the same treatment with the scaling. So your old gear and your new gear do have a huge PvP gap. This shouldn't be the case anymore. So this is good for anyone returning to the game wanting to get back into PvP. We also have the announcement that legacy loot rules will now apply in BFA. I think this is slightly earlier than they did the equivalent in BFA. I know that there won't be that many people soloing BFA mythic content at the moment. I know it's still difficult. I've tried to get groups to do Rastakan in BOD. It is very difficult, and Mechatalk is even harder. It's a show. I'm unsure whether Legacy actually works out better when you can't solo the content. I don't know if anyone watching is big into Legacy content. If you do know the answer to this, please drop a comment down below letting me know. I would like to know whether this is going to be harder to get transmog sets or easier to get transmog sets. They've also announced that legendaries will have a 100% drop chance in dungeons, which helps anybody wanting to start on their ult. Any ult improvements, thumbs up. In regards to legendaries, I also read that there will be some form of scrapping system for your old legendaries, which is wonderful. This is what should have been in the game from the beginning. I suppose you could say that about most of these updates. I've been putting my legendaries in the bank on the hope that this would be added, and now it will be, so I will be scrapping a lot of. The other big news that has been announced so far is Conduit Energy is going away. Now I know this isn't necessarily a problem for everybody, but I think if you wanted to play with freedom, you would run into this issue. Conduit Energy is being removed entirely, which is wonderful. Blizzard is clearly hearing its fan base loud and clear. What I would love to see is conduit trees to be based on your spec. This would save the hassle of switching back and forth. I'm not sure that what I'm talking about is going to be actually added to the game, but I think removing Conduit Energy is a wonderful start. In news relating to the lawsuit, Overwatch character McCree is going to be renamed. He was named after level designer Jesse McCree, but has been recently outed as being one of the members of the Cosby Suite. Blizzard has received a mixed reaction from this. You get some people saying, why are you pandering? You get some people saying, this is not enough. You get some people saying, this is good. Generally, this feels like non-news to me. I don't feel any sentimental attachment to the name McCree. Sometimes I feel like if you want a legacy, try not to be a shitbag. In less controversial news, we have some improvements to our leveling systems. There are going to be heirloom upgrades. We're going to be able to level in Torghast now, and Threads of Fate is going to be improved, though they haven't really elaborated on that. They have also announced that any of you Legacy Raiders will have an easier job soloing Legion content. I've seen a lot of people asking, how come Legion content got harder as we got more powerful? If you thought that, then you were probably just as confused as I was. There are difficulties with soloing mythic bosses such as Gul'dan, ENR, Kil'jaeden, Fallen Avatar. Hopefully this content should be easier for small groups or people wanting to solo. Hopefully Blizzard can address some of the demands that the player base want to see, changing the internal structures and making the company an enjoyable place for women to work in. Their player base live and breathe their game. They are so attached to it and they just want to see it work well. Now more than ever, this is make or break for Blizzard. Let's hope they come out with more changes internally and in their game. Personally, I'm not that optimistic, but we'll have to see. These are all the updates for 9.1.5 so far. Please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. It really does help me out, and if you don't, it will hurt you. I stream over at twitch.tv/411games. Come over and say hi and make fun of my awful horse riding in Red Dead Redemption. Stay safe, guys. Take care.